All that shortly, but first to our top focus here on WION. A plane crashed at Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, earlier today. The incident occurred when the plane was landing at the WION International Airport there in Kathmandu. There were 71 people on board that aircraft, including 4 members of the crew. Witnesses say that 20 badly burnt bodies have been recovered from the site, while 20 others have been rescued. Rescue operations are still continuing. The plane belonged to the US Bangla Airlines and landed at the airport at around 2:30 p.m. local time. 71 people on board that aircraft, including 4 crew members as of now. Here's what we know. The passenger plane crashed at the WION International Airport. What we also know is that the plane was carrying 71 people on board. This incident occurred when the plane was just about landing there at the airport. There were 71 people on board, including 4 members of the crew. Witnesses also telling us that 20 bodies have been recovered, while 20 others have now been rescued. Rescue operations are continuing at this point. The plane belonged to the US Bangla Airlines, landed at the airport. This is around 2:30 p.m. local time is when the incident is believed to have occurred at the WION International Airport there in Kathmandu in Nepal. The plane crashed while landing. There were 71 people on board that aircraft, including crew members. 20 bodies as of now have been recovered. The plane belonged to the US Bangla Airlines. As of now, the rescue operations are still continuing. Karthike, of course, the initial details that we have so far, we do know that 71 people were on board that aircraft, including crew members. 20 bodies have been recovered. 20 others, fortunately, have been rescued as well. Very initial information that's emerging as of now. The plane crashed at the Kathmandu airport. We'll just go back to Karthike for more on that. The plane crashed at the Kathmandu airport. This was around 2:30 p.m. local time. As we also have established, the plane belonged to the US Bangla Airlines. 20 bodies have now been recovered from that aircraft. 71 people were on board. We also are aware that rescue operations are continuing as we speak. Images that have been posted also on social media showing plumes of smoke rising into the air above that runway. As of now, we do not know what caused that aircraft to crash. This is just when the aircraft was landing. We also know that airport officials have reportedly confirmed that the aircraft was a passenger plane which became unstable while it was descending into the airport. Let's go back across to Karthike Sharma. Karthike, very scanty information, of course, that's available at this point, but we also know that the crash occurred just when the aircraft was landing and descending onto the airport.
You see, Molly, what's happening is that, right now, if you look at these visuals which are coming on our screen, it's almost complete, what we call the rescue operation. But if we just go by the dynamics of this plane crash, it's very unfortunate because distress sign was noticed, and it could not land on the airfield. It landed way beyond the airfield, and when it landed, it burst into flame. We'll also play those visuals. It just caught fire. It was not able to. It did not give chance to many people to come out. It's a small aircraft, Molly. It's a propeller-based aircraft. It was not a jet engine, and it was flying from Dhaka to Kathmandu. It was a joint US Bangla flight. And to see the plume of it's an ATF fuel. ATF fuel is very difficult. A lot of people came to douse the fire by water, Molly, but then it could not happen because ATF does not respond to water. ATF responds to synthetic material. Now, what's happening is that for now the airport has been closed. The flights have been diverted because everything will need to be cleared. We do not know how many people have survived, how many people have been injured, how many people could not make it through the crash. But Kathmandu Post is reporting that 25 injured people have been rescued and sent to hospitals for treatment. And these are impact injuries. These are high burn injuries. So it depends. And then it says that there were the TI, which is Tribhuvan International Airport, says that there were 37 males and 27 females and 2 children in the flight. So it's very, very unfortunate it has happened, and in past 30 days, a lot of aircraft crashes have taken place. One has taken place over the desert of Iran, and but the bottom line here is, Molly, is that it just goes on to show that sometimes airports themselves are very difficult to land. Something like Mangalore, where the clash took place.
Right, just hold that thought, Karthik. I'll just come back to you. Also joining us on the broadcast is P.S. Ahluwalia, retired Air Marshal. Good evening, sir. Appreciate very much for joining us on the broadcast. What do you make of the initial information that has trickled in so far?
Well, it is very clear from the visuals that are coming out in various TV channels that firstly, the weather seems to be perfectly all right. There's nothing wrong with the weather. And secondly, this crash has taken place whilst landing. Thirdly, the aircraft was a small aircraft. As can be seen, there were 71 passengers in total, people in total, including the crew. And fourthly, this has happened at the airport premises or just outside the airport premises. So the first indication is that I would say that this probably more than a technical error, it would be a pilot error. Of course, it could be a technical error and coupled with a pilot error. But I think it will be the other way around, that the pilot has probably made a mistake in assessing his landing parameters, where he should be landing, what his speeds were. And this has happened quite often. It happens in Nepal. So the category of the pilot, the capability, that comes into question here. That's what I would assess. And second thing is that, as we can see from the visuals once again, that the aircraft is impacted the ground, in a critical state. Nothing has come out from the airport in terms of, the chutes, the emergency chutes that are deployed so that the passengers can evacuate the aircraft at the earliest. I don't see that on the visuals, and I do see a lot of flames which have come up. So the possibility of too many passengers surviving this kind of crash is limited. So I would say definitely the kind of death count that will come in will be large. I can also see, the safety crew, they're all there. And obviously, because the safety crew now is actually engaged or occupied with this accident, the airport will be closed for some time.
Yes.
Till all these crews are once again available to be on station for any other safety needs in the future. So that's what my assessment is.
Okay.
At first instance.
All right. I'll just come back to you, sir. S.S. Panasar, Director of Flight Safety, Indian Airlines, is also joining us. I don't know to what extent you've listened into what P.S. Ahluwalia there was just mentioning, but given the circumstances, what do you make of the initial information that has trickled in so far?
Yeah, let me tell you, the Kathmandu Valley is a very tight valley. And we land in the northerly direction, only single direction landing. And we start the descent for landing approximately from 10 miles. And the rate of descent is very high than the normal approach. Normal approach is about we descend 600, 700 feet a minute. But here you have to descend at about 1800 to 2000 feet a minute, which is a very, very steep descent, up to about 2 miles or 3 miles from touchdown. And then you have to suddenly control the rate of swing from 1800 to 700 feet a minute, which is a very, very difficult and, of course, controllable situation, and pilots are trained for that. Probably this pilot is descending very strongly and could not arrest the rate of descent on finals, maybe because of the strong turbulence winds and all that. And this is special training required for landing at Kathmandu, and we do train pilots. I have flown on a DC-3, Fokker, Boeing and Airbus A300. We are very well trained to land at night in any weather with any emergency. Even if one engine is shut down, we can land safely with the one engine on the runway 02. But the only thing is the problem is to arrest the rate of descent, which is very, very high. about 1800 feet a minute. And suddenly you have to control the descent to 700 feet a minute, then to land at that level. This could be the pilot's error. Of course, if some bird has hit the engine and all, even then he can land on one engine. But controlling the rate of descent is the main problem.
All right, so a more likelihood of this not being a weather-related crash is what both our experts are pointing towards. We're going to leave it there for the moment, thanking both Mr. Panesar and P.S. Ahluwalia for joining us on the broadcast with those details. Now, as we are getting you those distressing visuals of the air crash in Kathmandu of the passenger aircraft belonging to the US Bangla Airlines, let's also take a look at the relatively new aviation company that was set up in 2010. It commenced operations in 2014, that is just 4 years ago, and currently has 8 operational aircraft. The private company, which is a US-Bangladesh joint venture, started with 2 domestic destinations, Chittagong and Jessore, from its hub in Dhaka. 2 years ago, US Bangla Airlines announced its purchase of 2 Boeing 737-800 aircraft and also its intention to touch international routes, beginning with Singapore and Dubai. It also planned to buy 2 Airbus A330 aircraft to begin operations from Hajj pilgrims to Jeddah and Riyadh. It currently flies to 15 destinations. Other than Kathmandu, US Bangla Airlines also flies to Kolkata, Kuala Lumpur, Doha, Singapore, Bangkok, Muscat and Qatar. US Bangla Airlines currently owns 8 aircraft, 4 Boeing 737-800s, which can each carry 158 passengers, and 4 Bombardier Q400 planes, which can each ferry 76 passengers on board. And today's Kathmandu crash is not the first. In 2015, one of the airline's Bombardiers skidded off the runway upon landing on a domestic flight. This was within Bangladesh. No one was injured.